What's up, guys? It's your boy, Barça Boy 103. Today, we are going to be reacting to the Barcelona news. It has been absolutely forever since I made a news video for the amount of games and the excitement that we've been recently experiencing. But we got a little bit of a break now before the Inter match. It is time to update you guys on all the news over the past few weeks. We've been linked with Julian Alvarez, we'll discuss that. Bayer Leverkusen duo, we've been linked with defensively as well in Ta, and an actual top left back in Grimaldo. We have some exit updates as well on Christensen, Pau Victor. We've actually made an official sale as well. We'll talk about that. Big renewal updates on Flick, Lamine, Raphinha as well. The new Collab Spotify artist has been confirmed, and you guessed it, it is Travis Scott. We'll discuss that. And finally, a very quick update on the CSD Court Case in regards to, of course, Dani Olmo and Pau Victor's registration. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below, and let's try and get to 200 likes on this video. It would be very much appreciated. Also, if you are new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Now, before we get into this video is sponsored by Number One Foot. Number One Foot is by far the best replica jersey website on the market, and it's not even close. They have a variety of different items at the absolute best prices. They sent me two kits recently. First one is the retro Barcelona kit, the home kit, which I'm currently wearing right now, and also as well the second kit for that season in the blue edition. Oh my god, like, the stitching is fantastic, the quality is, superb. Feels like I have the actual, original kit for a fraction of the price. And if you use the discount code BOY at checkout, you do get 10% off your order. That's BOY. Use it at checkout, and all orders above $80 as well will receive free shipping. So what are you waiting for? Hit the top link in the description down below and get your new football kits today. Let's start off with the transfer news. Over the past few weeks, not too many players have been linked with Barcelona per se. First one up is Julian Alvarez. This is coming in from Marca, of course, Madrid-based paper. He plays for Atletico Madrid. That's the only reason why I'm mentioning this. They come out saying that Barcelona are planning a surprise move to sign Julian Alvarez from Atletico Madrid to replace Robert Lewandowski. Of course, this sounds great, but it has no figure to it. There's no reality to it whatsoever. If we wanted Julian, we would have gotten him when he was moving from River Plate to Man City, where Barcelona were interested, but at that time were quite broke. Unfortunately, fantastic player. All the level of Barcelona without a shadow of a doubt. His first season in Spain has been fantastic, even though Atletico Madrid have gone trophyless. He's a player that fit Barcelona like a freaking glove. I think him and Haaland are kind of the two, and maybe Isaac as well. Those three are kind of the three most ideal strikers for this team. I mean, the amount of goals he's scoring in a team that doesn't even create chances. The amount is that he comes to a team where he does create chances, but of course we saw how well he did with Man City, but he played so many little minutes. That's why his numbers were always, quite good, but not outrageous. Barcelona, him being a starter would be absolutely crazy. But I mean, Atletico just bought him for 90 million. If they want to sell him the next summer after that, they're gonna ask for a ton of money. Let's be honest here. So not only is it unaffordable, it's unrealistic, unobtainable whatsoever. Keep your eyes out in the future. Maybe if he runs out his contract with Atletico Madrid, maybe he'll become an option in the future. Swap deals and this and that, since we, us at Atletico Madrid, we're best friends when it comes to transfers. But this upcoming summer, absolutely 0% chance. Now, a player that Barcelona had been tracking now since last summer in August, and have already, of course, reached an agreement in principle to sign as a free agent this summer, is in fact Jonathan Tah. Over the past few weeks, he has confirmed in the media that he will be leaving Bayern Munich as a free agent. That's of course official. Again, Barcelona back in January reached a full agreement on a contract for I think a 2 + 1 year deal. Salaries, details, everything's agreed. Just now down to Barcelona and Tah both signing the deal. Barcelona's signature has not arrived yet. They're waiting for some FFP clarity and also on some squad clarity. We've seen how well Aru has done this year since he signed his renewal. Kubarsi and Nico, of course, have been fantastic. Christensen, we saw how well he played last night against Valle. When he's fully fit, he can be, of course, a huge asset. Eric Garcia has become one of Flick's favorite squad players over the sudden, so things are changing a little bit. Now, Fabrizio Romano has come out saying that Jonathan Tah to Barcelona is not a done deal, while Barcelona have had long-standing conversations with the player, who shares an agent with Hansi Flick and Vinicius Javi, of course, and also is available as a free agent. The move was initially considered in case Araujo left for Juventus. However, with Araujo now set to stay at Barcelona, already having several center backs, Kubarsi, Christensen, Eric, and Inigo, they're still undecided on whether or not to proceed. Also to note from Fabrizio as well, Flick was a big, pusher of this deal back from like August until December. This is before he, grew to love Christensen and more importantly, Eric Garcia as well. And of course, how well Inigo has done. Keep in mind, Inigo, he's only got 1 year left, so we do need to sign someone. I would say at some point, we do have some decent center backs in the youth academy as well, whether it be McBake, Cuenca as well, that are doing quite well. So it really comes down to what the squad planning people, i.e. Deco and Flick, do prefer. If they want to, of course, cash in on Eric and Christian this summer and bring in Tah, I wouldn't mind that. I do have a feeling now that one of them have a good chance of staying, especially based how well the season has gone. I even hear some reports that apparently Barcelona want to give Eric Garcia a renewal. So this is how football happens. Things can change a lot. I rather personally have Eric Garcia than Tah. Should be on the fact of Eric Garcia is already in the team, knows the language, knows everybody, knows the city, knows the club, and he's all right. And of course, he's younger as well, so that's why I wouldn't mind, favoring him. The versatility of Eric Garcia as well, right back, center back, and pivot. So that's what's really pulling down Tah at the moment. And also, Roger today, El Mundo Deportivo came out saying that although Jonathan Tah has a verbal agreement with Barcelona, as I already mentioned, the club hasn't been able to officially complete the deal due to FFP issues. Real Madrid are one of the clubs now taking advantage of the situation. Xabi Alonso, who's said to be the new Real Madrid manager, wants to bring him with. He wants to bring Jonathan Tah with him to Madrid. The player is now starting to grow impatient because Barcelona can't yet guarantee the signing due to FFP problems. So Barcelona media is saying that, Barcelona want to sign Tah, it's going to be done. FFP is a problem. Fabrizio Romano is saying that, look, Barcelona kind of having second doubts. They've already agreed, of course, but they still, look at their center backs now, how well people are doing is now changing their perspective a little bit. I will say where Fabrizio Romano is wrong here, where he's saying that we wanted Tah in case Araujo left for Juventus. That is factually incorrect. We've been following Tah since August, and we've been talking with him from September, October, November, and then of course December, January, when we reached the full agreement, because of course Araujo was pissing about with his renewal, but the interest has been there even with Araujo being in the squad. Again, we know that Araujo is a pure and world-class elite defender. On the ball though, he ain't that great. We've seen now in defensive actions over the past few months how well he's done, but when you rely upon him, like we saw, middle to end of January after the Super Cup, you can see the mistakes in him. So wait and see with Jonathan Tah. It's a very interesting deal. I think honestly this will come down to probably Flick and what he wants. If he wants Tah, I think Barcelona, of course, will definitely bring him in and get rid of whether it be Christensen or Eric. To be fair, Christensen, poor guy, just cannot stay fit. I know I think Christensen is levels above Tah, but you just can't stay fit. I mean, this season he's played 3 games and 2 90 minutes in 3 games in all of this whole entire season. So he's had 3 different injuries. I think as a talent and based on Barcelona's mold, his age, the style, I think he's clear of Tah, but poor guy can't stay fit. So we'll see how things do turn out. I think honestly the final motivation for this will be on Flick. If Flick really wants this deal, then the club will pursue it and go for it. If Flick kind of like, I'm happy with Eric, I'm happy with Christensen, with Cuenca and McBake in the B team, we probably will end up passing on Tah. Now, one of Jonathan Tah's teammates at Bayer Leverkusen has now recently been linked with Barcelona as a new target this summer, and that is Alejandro Grimaldo. Now, if you're an OG Barca boy fan, you would have seen back in the day I was drooling for Grimaldo, especially when he was going to become a free agent after leaving Benfica. Even when he had 1 year left on his deal, I was still twerking for him and Gaia a lot back in the day. Now, according to Sky Germany, Deco is a huge fan of Grimaldo and Barcelona is interested in signing him, and Leverkusen right now are asking for around 30 to 40 million euros, which to be honest is expensive, but honestly not that bad. I think that's a very fair price for Grimaldo. Following this report, Fabrizio Romano did come out saying that Barcelona are not in talks or negotiation with Grimaldo. The club are looking for a right back and not a left back. The first part makes sense. Of course, we're not negotiating or anything like that. It's just general interest. The club are looking for a left back and not a right back. That kind of, annoyed me. I think the club are not even looking for a right back. I think the club are looking for one full back that can play both, whether it be a Joao Cancelo 2.0. I think Venderson fits the mold very well, but signing Grimaldo would be crazy. Of course, Grimaldo and Valle are both kind of starter level-esque fullbacks, and having both of them competing would be absolutely intense, and one of them would definitely get super upset. I think that Grimaldo is too much of a high-level signing for Barcelona, especially in the fullback position where you kind of rely on one for a solid 80 to 90% of the season. It's not like midfield, forwards, and center backs where you need depth. Of course, you need depth at left back, but not This kind of, it's like having, for example, Erling Haaland and Julian Alvarez, which of course Man City had the luxury of having. When you just have too many star players, too many big players up front, of course what happened in the end, Julian Alvarez ended up leaving, a year and a half after that, competition with Haaland. I think Ronaldo's a fantastic player. I think if he can play at right back, it would do absolutely wonders. Of course, we saw Balde play at right back quite a few times under Xavi. Maybe the plan is to, mold Balde into a right back and bring in Ronaldo. I'd absolutely love that, but I don't think that's the reality. Would love Alejandro, but I think it's a bit too far-fetched to say the least. So wait and see what happens. Again, the club are still looking for a fullback this summer. There's no shadow of doubt about that. I think Grimaldo right now is too much of a high-profile option for the club. Let's now discuss the players that have been rumored to be leaving Barcelona over the past few weeks. A confirmed departure and sale for Barcelona has in fact happened over the past few weeks, and it is Alex Valle to Como. Fabrizio Romano has come out saying that Como are planning and will trigger the €6 million release clause of Alex Valle to sign him on a permanent deal from Barcelona this summer. Of course, Valle right now on loan at Como after cancelling his first half loan of the season at Celtic, moving to Italy under Cesc Fabregas, has done very, very well. And Como, since they are staying up, of course, in Serie A, they're gonna buy him. Good sale, of course, for Barcelona in the end. I think Valle is probably more valued around 10 million, but again, the release clause is cheap. What can you do? I rate Valle. I think he's a great fullback. Could be one that we bring back in the future. I guess for right now, it does make sense to be satisfied with this. Again, that's net income. That's pure cash coming into the club, so we absolutely will take that. I wish Valle all the best at Como. Wait and see how his future does develop over the next few years. But one of the another sale for Barcelona this summer that's already happened beforehand. We of course sold Victor Roque already, and now Alex Valle, another pre-summer sale for Barcelona, €6 million coming the way of the Blaugrana side. Now, another player that I and also Barcelona hope that we can sell before the summer transfer window officially opens, and that is Clement Lenglet. Mundo Deportivo has come out saying that Barcelona demand around €10 million for Clement Lenglet this summer, but this fee is not realistic. Atletico Madrid are expected to sign him for a very small fee, almost essentially for free. Of course, January, Lenglet was doing very well for Atletico. They were like, oh yeah, we'll give Barcelona €5-7 million for him. Of course, since then, his stock has depleted dramatically, giving away a few penalties. I think he gave a penalty against Getafe. I think he gave one against Real Madrid at some point, whether it be in a league game or in the Champions League. Hasn't done too well recently, but Atletico Madrid are still interested in keeping him on a long-term deal, which is a positive. Again, like I said to you guys back in January when he was apparently going for 10 million, I would get rid of him for free. Just get him off the wage bill, get him off the books of Barcelona. Again, you can get maybe a couple million plus add-ons. I'll take it. Or if you want to take him, have a percent of future sale, variables based on his deal. If Atletico Madrid trophies, we get a couple million for him. I think Barcelona can definitely sort out a deal. Us asking for 10 million, I think hopefully it's just a tactic that set our demands quite high, then settle for something maybe lower. But get rid of Lenglet by any means necessary. The fact that Atletico Madrid are a big club and do want Lenglet is a saving grace from God. We cannot let that slip. Get a deal done, hopefully before the summer. One less thing to worry about as well. A lot of our loan players now are having their future sorted out, and hopefully we can get Lenglet off the books on a permanent basis. Now, another player's future at Barcelona that is also very much uncertain, a one that I already hinted about earlier on, it is of course Andreas Christensen. Now, Franco Raskin Sport has come out saying that although he's last in the pecking order in his position, Andreas Christensen still plans to stay at Barcelona next season. Forget this tough season. Earn Flick's trust so that he can be an important player and finish his contract. The club hasn't talked to him yet about a possibility of extending his deal. The player hopes to talk about his future soon with Flick and Deco. Keep in mind, we of course signed Christensen on a free back in 2022. His contract expires next summer, 2026. He signed a 4-year deal. He's been at Barcelona for 3 years, and the last year will be this upcoming season, which means that this summer you make a choice. You sell him or you renew him. Again, he's gone through a difficult time this season. He played the first game against Valencia away. We've just seen him now for the first time last night against Valle, play full 90 minutes. We saw how good he was as well. The only problem with Christensen is, of course, the injury concern. Of course, he had a big surgery. Then he was out twice with niggles in training. Maybe that's just because, of a lack of training and, lack of no rhythm. I'm kind of being a bit lenient just because I really rate Christensen, but again, there's no long-term benefit, especially with his injury concerns. I think if the club want to take the risk and go with him next season, 1 year left in his deal, it's a bit of a risky move. I wouldn't mind it per se just because I rate Christensen very, very highly, but the injuries are just a massive concern. Even before when he came in that first season where we won the double under Chapman, he was, back, Araujo, Christensen, Balde, and Koundé back line. He was, of course, fantastic, but had random niggles here and there, stomach problems out for his squad list, a little bit of a pickup of a knock, and, there's no consistency with Andreas. That is the problem. But, player-wise, profile, is of course fantastic. So we'll wait and see. Maybe Flick will have a different change of heart. Maybe Flick will say, you know what, I'll give Christian 1 more year, focus our money and signings on, left winger and a fullback. We don't have to, we can bin off Jonathan Tah as well. We'll wait and see. I think he's definitely more out than in, but there still is a chance just due to his quality, due to how many years left there are left on his contract as well. So there are some things that can be discussed this summer, but it only depends, I think, mainly on Christensen being fit. If he was fit, we'd all be here preaching, saying yes, stay, and I'm sure he would want to stay. I'm sure the club would have kept him, but the injury concerns are what the major obstacle is in regards to his future. Now, another player's future that is also in doubt at Barcelona is Pau Victor. Despite being fit basically the whole season, he basically has little to no minutes as Christensen. If you know what, Christensen plays the next few games, after Clásico and Inter, he might come off the bench in those games. And of course, Valle, Espanyol, Athletic Club. If Christensen plays those games, he might end up having more minutes than Pau Victor this season. But Ivan San Antonio of Sport has come out saying that in January, Pau Victor personally told Deco that he didn't want to leave. He also didn't plan to leave this summer as well. The club doesn't want that either. Flick values him a lot, even though he hasn't had that many minutes this season. There will be a meeting at the end of the season between Deco and Pau Victor's agent and the club to talk about his future. The player hopes to have a bigger role next season. If not, they'll look at all options, including a loan or even a sale. It really depends on if we bring in a striker or not. Or again, if we bring in a left winger especially as well, we'll probably just rely on Ferran and Lua up front for a whole nother season. I doubt Pau stays next season unless Lua just decides to retire out of nowhere, or we get a big offer for Ferran Torres, or whatever the case may be. We're of course expecting Ansu to leave in the front line as well. We want to sign someone as well, so I think it's going to be days numbered for Pau. You can rate him, sure, but the fact that there's little to no minutes for him this season says enough. Since that CSD court case that we've been, of course, twerking and praying and making so many moves to keep Pau Victor, he's not played barely since. I think he came off the bench once in January, of course started last night, came off the bench against Mallorca, I believe, maybe against Inter. Like, that's it. I mean, it's only a handful of minutes, and there, no 90 minutes as well. So there's no point in twerking and trying to keep him. Good player, cool, but if you're not going to keep him, you're not going to use him. So we'll see with Pau. I definitely think that his future is farther outside of Barcelona than it is inside. The same, of course, as Christensen. Now, in some other interesting news, Jorge Mendes, of course, a super agent with a very, very good connection with the club of Barcelona, had a meeting in Barcelona a few weeks ago with his clients from the club, like Alejandro Balde, like Lamine Yamal, and Ansu Fati. These were confirmed, caught on video by El Chiringuito TV as well. So these meetings are confirmed and clear, whether they're talking about, future renewals, their futures at the club, sponsorship, advertisement, marketing issues. Since it's with their agent, it could be anything. He was spotted leaving the restaurant alone, caught by the media. He was asked by the media, is he staying? He said, who? And they asked Ansu Fati, and he said, I don't know. I think this came after Ansu played well against Mallorca when we won 1-0, then an Olmo goal straight after half time. This is like a week, a little bit or so ago. So of course back then we were like, oh, Ansu played well, maybe he could stay, maybe he has a future, something like that. So we'll see. With Ansu, I think him and Pau Victor are pretty much cooked at this point. I mean, I love Ansu. I mean, I thought he was going to be the next best thing. I had this Ansu Fati, PSA 10 Panini card that I spent like $500 on. It's worth like $5 now. If you want it, drop me a comment down below. Send me your offers. But I'm gutted about Ansu. Really want him to succeed, but I think it's quite clear that the number 10 has to move on, and it has to go, of course, to Lamine Yamal, who is of course one of the clients of Jorge Mendes as well. So we'll see what happens with his clients this summer. Of course, the club working on Lamine Yamal renewal, probably also at this exit as well. Nothing really with Balde. He's kind of quite cool at the moment, but of course Lamine has a renewal on the table, and Ansu has an exit on the table. Let's now discuss some contract renewal updates around the first team at Barcelona. Look at this. The first update is, of course, on the renewal of Lamine Yamal. Do not forget, we are in phase 2 of Deco's renewal process. The priorities right now are Frankie de Jong, Lamine Yamal, Raphinha, and Jules Koundé, alongside the quick renewal of Szczesny as well. Now, Relevo, Mikel Rico has come out saying that Lamine Yamal's contract renewal with Barcelona is already done and sealed. The agreement is in place on a 5-year contract. Of course, this is already agreed upon when he signed his first renewal. What was it, last season before preseason? But now they just improved the conditions and the numbers in his deal since he's been God's having a Ballon d'Or campaign. Him and Pedri and Rafa, they're crazy, right? They're gonna give, of course, Lamine number 10 next season. He's gonna be one of the highest paid players at Barcelona as well, which you could say is deserved, but for his age, I don't know. I'm not really a huge fan of that, but if it must be done, it must be done. I want to say one more thing before I move on as well. Again, his renewal is done. There's never going to be an issue with it. Jorge Mendes made it very clear over the past few months as well. He's going to stay, and Lamine's very happy. Keep your eyes on Lamine's father in the future. Hustle hard, 004. He's going to be a real problem once, Lamine starts, earning the big bucks, the star, the couple Ballon d'Ors, no Ballon d'Ors, the couple Champions League. When Lamine hits his prime years, between the age of 24 and 28, I think his dad could do a Neymar, where he can pull and try to convince Lamine to go somewhere else. So keep your eyes on that. I think he has, of course, big persuasion and big influence on Lamine. If things are not going too well at Barcelona, we have maybe another banter period. You never know how things turn out. But I think if Lamine was to leave Barcelona, I think his father would play a big role in that. So keep your eyes on that. But for now, Lamine will commit his future to Barcelona. A new deal is expected very soon, especially this summer when he turns 18. The next contract renewal update is on the contract renewal of Joga Bonito Raphinha. This is coming in from Gigantes. They've come out saying that Deco will meet with Raphinha's agent to lay down the groundwork for the Brazilian player's new deal. The club is very happy with his attitude and performances. Negotiations right now are still in the early stages, but have begun and are progressing. So no surprise there. Of course, when you have a Ballon d'Or-esque campaign at Barcelona, you get paid. So he's probably going to be, earning that big buck as well, probably around 200 to 300,000 euros per week, depending on what Barcelona's pay bracket is. Is it deserved? Yes. Again, we are hearing reports that this will be a short-term deal, like a 2 or 3 year deal. It's not going to be like a 4 or 5 year deal like Lamine and Araujo and Gavi and Pedri. I think him and Frankie will get maybe 2 or 3 year contracts. For Raphinha, it makes sense because he is a bit on the older side. With Frankie, I think he does deserve a 4-year deal if he does end up staying. But with Rafa, it doesn't make sense. Again, you don't know how well he'll do next season. Of course, he's performing peak right now. You don't know how far he'll drop next season, or if he'll drop at all next season as well. But from this season, what he's done, fully deserved. Been a bit rocky the past month. Hopefully he locks in for this final month of the season, but a new renewal is expected for him this summer, and fully deserved. And the final contract renewal update is on the contract renewal of Wojciech Szczesny. Now, Deco has come out in the media. This is before the match against Celta Vigo, confirming that we are very happy with Szczesny and that he will be with us next season for sure. So I guess that's him basically confirming that Szczesny has renewed his deal. Of course, Szczesny has come out saying that he is of course favoring staying at Barcelona. I'll wait and see. Of course, as Ortega's coming back, he hasn't performed too well. We've not won a game by 1 goal. We haven't kept a clean sheet in God knows how long. With the Mallorca game, our last clean sheet, probably in our last like 8 or 9 games. It's been quite rocky since Turtuan has come back, so you never know. We'll see until it's signed, sealed, delivered, and announced. Anything can change, but right now the club and also alongside the sporting director Deco and also Szczesny himself are all saying in the media that pretty much he will end up staying next season and compete with Ter Stegen in goal. Let's now discuss some of the injury updates around the first team at Barcelona. First, from last night's match on Gavi, who of course went off injured. He was holding his hamstring. He went down. He had the medical team go off, and he had to be subbed off, of course. After the game, Flick was asked, "What's up with Gavi? Is he okay?" And he said, "I think Gavi is fine. It's no injury, or at least I hope it's not." He said after the game that he's fine, but we have to wait and see today after test. João Romero also came out saying after the game that Gavi is fine, just a muscle overload. So it's just cramp, nothing too serious. We all thought since he was holding his hamstring, oh god, he's pulled his hammy, things are going to be, going south. He'll probably be out for the rest of the season if he does pull his hamstring at this point. But thankfully, just an overload, nothing serious there. We do have some other positive injury update as well. One of them is on Robert Lewandowski. Before the match last night, Candacer came out saying the plan right now for Robert is for him to train with the team tomorrow, travel to Milan on Monday, and be available to play against Inter in the second half. The idea for him is to start on the bench and then come on late in the game. Things are looking very positive. So Lua, squad list against Inter, set, confirmed. Happy days. Probably won't start. Maybe he could start if Flick really wants to risk it for the biscuit, but with the Clásico coming up the weekend after the Inter game, I don't think he will. But ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, I do have some bad news. This news has struck me to the core, to the point where Inter are probably the favorites now on Tuesday. Alejandro Balde will not be playing against Inter. Of course, the plan for Balde was to play yesterday against Valle, maybe play 5 to 10 minutes, get the rhythm up, and then start against Inter. Not only that he wasn't in the squad list last night, he will not even be in the squad list for the Inter game. Jardomiro Figuentes came out saying that Alejandro Balde is not expected to be available for the second leg against Inter. He has not trained with the group yet and is trained to be available for the Clásico. So no Balde and no Koundé. Neither of Barcelona's starting fullbacks will be available against Inter. You're probably looking at Inigo left back, Araujo and Kubarsi in the middle, and then Eric at right back, which is quite shaky. You have 4 center backs playing in the back 4. Overlapping runs, forget about it. Unless Flick does a madness and starts Hector Fort or Gerard Martin, which neither of them deserve to start the game, we're going to need a freaking miracle, man. A miracle to get a goal. This, for me, especially with Koundé getting injured, is absolutely devastating. You, of course, saw how happy I was in the Valle preview, saying that Balde should be able to start against Inter and how confident I looked. Now that's all gone. I mean, it is an absolutely huge bro. I'll tell you right now, a miracle is needed on Tuesday. But finally, on a positive note, we do have an update on Casado. Tony Martins come out saying that, Casado has come back to start, training with the group. He hasn't fully joined the group quite yet. He won't be available for Inter or Clásico. His plan right now is to return in the final stretch of the season. And Rochelle Mundo Deportivo came out confirming that Casado's plan is to be back for the Catalonia derby against Espanyol on May the 15th. Again, this is already pre-planned. We already knew from 2 months ago when he got injured, he probably will come back the last week or 2 of the season, and that's where we are right now, and that's why he's coming back. See a lot of people saying, oh my god, Casado's coming back before the end of the season. Oh, so good. This could be huge for us. This is always the plan. This is always the timeline of when he was going to return. It was also going to be the last week or 2 weeks of the season, and of course we're at that point now, and he has arrived. It will be a big recovery, of course, for Barcelona. We will absolutely take it, but again, no need to rush him back as well. We're kind of already planning the rest of the season without him anyways, but it'll be very good to have him back if he can manage to be back as quickly and as effectively as possible. Let's now discuss some of the news starting in Barcelona over the past few weeks. Firstly, coming in from Mundo Deportivo on the Pau Victor Dani Olmo registration case. They've come out saying that Dani Olmo and Pau Victor's case is now in the hands of the national court after the court that was first handling the case has now said it's not the right court to decide. The national court will decide whether to approve La Liga's request and cancel the players' licenses or reject it. The decision might not come until after the season is already over. So for now, both players are clear to play and finish the season with Barcelona. Whether they can play next season or not remains to be seen. Of course, Pau Victor probably has one foot out the door anyways. Of course, Olmo, crucial, big money player who's absolutely influential and vital to our system and style of play. So we'll see. The club are transmitting absolute confidence in this. Again, if the ruling does not go in our favor, we probably will appeal it anyway. It's just going to be, appeal till this stuff dies out, I feel like, to be honest. So we'll see how things do turn out. I feel like this case is absolutely never ending. It's been going on since the beginning of December. We're now in May, and the same shite is still going on. So we'll see how things do turn out. We'll wait for the ruling at the end of the season, and we'll wait and see how this will impact or not impact us in terms of FFP. Now for some more exciting news, the 6 Spotify El Clásico sponsor collab has been confirmed and official by the club. It's not Taylor Swift, it's not Ed Sheeran, it is Travis Scott. Of course, it was Drake first, then Rosalia, then Rolling Stone, Carlo G, Coldplay, and Travis Scott now is the 6th one. You can see the kit design on the screen right now. To be honest, I do like it a lot. From the leaks that were coming out, wasn't really a too fan of it. They had sometimes his logo across the middle with Cactus Jack on the side, but they kind of condensed his logo, put the nice font size for the Cactus Jack, which of course is kind of the symbol of Travis Scott. Looks great. They've sold out already. Apparently Barcelona already made 2 million off the search sales in the first couple of hours. I mean, someone needs to kiss the feet of Joan Laporta for this. This deal is the greatest sponsorship sports deal I've ever seen in my life. And the amount of money it has made for Barcelona is ridiculous. Take away from the actual brand deal what Spotify has paid Barcelona for the shirt and also for the naming rights of the Camp Nou, but also the collaboration aspect, being involved in one of the biggest, if not the biggest music streaming platform in the world. It is just a stroke of marketing genius from my president. But the hoodies even look nice as well. They've also sold out very quickly, so we'll see. Hopefully this will be another win for us. Of course, we've won in Rosalia and Coldplay only. We've lost with Drake, we lost with Rolling Stone, and we've lost with Carlo G. So this is to make it 3 out of 6. Hopefully we can end up getting the dub. And speaking on kits, next season's home kit images have also leaked as well. We're seeing this is how it look. Again, this is kind of close to the leaks that we got, but now seeing it in the flesh. I mean, I don't really mind it per se. I think I get a lot of hate. I don't understand the fade at the top, but then not going all the way down. I think if it kind of fades all the way through, it look maybe pretty cool. Again, if you see for the final design, we've seen even kits at this point change in Barcelona in the past, but this is pretty much, I would say, 90% confirmed in terms of the color scheme, the style of the kit, stuff like that. So we'll see how things do turn out. Get the Barcelona logo, badge moving back from the middle onto the right hand side. So we'll see how the final images look, but this is a pretty good leak of what we can expect for it. Now, the final topic that I want to discuss for the end of this video is in regards to the German that has absolutely rocked my world in Hansi Flick. We have an update on his renewal and also an update on his impact at Barcelona. Sky Germany come out saying that Hansi Flick will extend his contract with Barcelona, agreement in principle on a new deal until 2027. Just final details left to be sorted out. Fernando Polo also confirms as well, saying that after the second leg of the Champions League and before El Clásico, which means this upcoming Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the club's plan is to finalize the renewal of Hansi Flick. Even though they've already agreed on everything, the official announcement of the renewal would probably come later. Flick doesn't want to include an option of a year because he prefers to take it one season at a time. So just a 1 year simple renewal. Of course, his current contract is until the end of next season of 2026, and this one of course will take him to 2027, so he'll always have an extra year on his deal. Again, he wants to go year by year, so that's of course completely fine with Barcelona's perspective. Even Joan Laporta commented in the media on Flick's renewal, saying that Flick knows that it is a stage that we want to last as long as possible, that he fits in due to his human and sporting ability, due to his way of understanding the club, but he is a coach who prefers to go year by year and have a year's margin. We have Hansi Flick for this season and next season, and the sports commission is doing what it has to do in order to secure the immediate future. So he wants to go year by year. That club, of course, have no problem with that, and neither do I as a Barca fan as well. Now, in regards to his impact behind the scenes, there have been a lot of reports coming out recently from Fernando Polo saying that Hansi Flick has built a team that never gives up no matter what happens. This was made possible by Flick showing two sides of himself, being friendly and approachable, but also being extremely demanding. And he's not just tough with the players, he's also strict with the club's leadership. Everyone knows Flick is very serious about punctuality. For example, Jules Koundé, Flick dropped him from the lineup 3 times for being late. However, Flick also knows how to forgive and recognize hard work. In the same sense, Koundé is now an example for everyone. Flick values teamwork and loyalty. Shows when he fought to rehire the team's original cook after the company change, recognizing her excellent work. Flick enforced the team uniform rule, and after noticing poorly dressed officials on the U.S. tour, convinced the president to make it for the executives as well. Flick's attention to detail also ensures the team eats top quality eggs and wanting better. Flick is so detail oriented that he demanded better quality eggs for the team and hopes to eventually upgrade to a larger, smoother plane for traveling. So this just screams of Pep 2009, man. I mean, the similarities are absolutely crazy, but we already know how impactful Flick has been behind the scenes coming in. And also, you have to say credit to the club, not only for giving Flick a chance after his failed stint with Germany, but also giving him this much kind of power, being able to change so many things around the club in his first season without any proof of success. But of course, now we are seeing it on the pitch. With the club are probably going to be more lenient with him this summer, but even beginning the season, telling the players to dress properly, telling the executives of the club to, your Ustes, your Massive, Alina Fort, whoever it may be, to dress properly, making the changes in the backroom staff as well, to give this kind of trust. Only Barcelona do it. This is how well we treat our managers and our players as well. So shout out to Flick. He's of course absolutely rocked my world. Hopefully the world has not been rocked yet. We are still waiting for that quadruple to hopefully come our way. Finally, very, very quickly, on Jules Koundé, which of course we do mention here. According to Fernando Polo, Jules Koundé has asked Barcelona's security team, who traveled with the team, to remind him 15 minutes before Flick's pre-match talk so that he doesn't forget and he's not late. This guy needs security to remind him. I mean, you play for Barcelona. I mean, you can't remember yourself. I mean, this is so bad. This for me is not the greatest of looks. I love Koundé. He's one of, if not my favorite player at Barcelona, but this is low-key embarrassing. The fact that you need to be reminded by club security, hey, there's a team meeting, you probably want to head downstairs, buddy. He's like, oh damn. But maybe it's just his style and his persona, I don't know. But again, Flick, he's absolutely rocked my world, and hopefully he can rock my world even more with a quadruple at the end of the season. So that was my reaction to the Barcelona news over the past few weeks. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, of course, make sure you drop a like down below, and of course in the comments down below as well. Let me know your thoughts on everything we did discuss. The main thing I want to first see, of course, is your thoughts on Julian Alvarez being a striker option for Barcelona. Would you be in favor of that or not? Secondly, on the Bayer Leverkusen duo, would you sign both of them? Neither of them, and if it would be one of them, let me know which one down in the comments below. Thoughts on the renewals of Lamine and Rafa, and also your thoughts on the Spotify deal with, of course, Travis Scott being the new artist to represent Barcelona in this upcoming league Clásico. And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time on the channel. Take care, and Forza Barça. Yeah.